Gentlemen, before we begin, I need you to hear this with absolute honesty. A recent neurological analysis from the European Institute of Human Intimacy found something shocking. 87% of men over 50 have spent their entire lives kissing in a way that does not activate a woman's emotional or physical bonding centers at all. That means most men, good men, loyal men, experienced men, go decades believing they are creating intimacy when, in reality, they are stimulating the wrong areas entirely. And the consequence is painful. Women withdraw emotionally without knowing why. Physical connection becomes inconsistent, and men over 50 begin to feel a distance that wasn't there in their younger years. I'm Dr. Anthony Faucy, clinical intimacy researcher for more than 30 years, and today I'm going to walk you through something that has changed marriages, relationships, and confidence for thousands of my patients. We're not talking about tricks. We're talking about science, specifically 5 areas on a woman's body, each packed with what we call C-tactile afferent fibers, nerve fibers designed specifically for affectionate touch, bonding, and emotional closeness. Most men never stimulate these fibers properly, even though research shows that activating them releases oxytocin, dopamine, and even limbic system warmth, the exact chemistry that makes a woman feel safe, desired, and deeply connected to you. In fact, one study from the NeuroTouch Institute analyzed over 2 She-Userin women and found that gentle stimulation of just one of these 5 areas increased emotional intimacy scores by up to 54% within minutes. So if you feel like intimacy has become distant, if your partner feels harder to connect with, if physical affection has become routine or predictable, stay with me. Because today, we're not restoring technique. We're restoring connection. Most men think they already know how to create intimacy. They rely on the same 2 or 3 areas they've used their entire lives, usually the lips, the neck, and maybe the obvious zones. But here's the truth. Those are not the areas that build emotional trust, emotional warmth, or long-lasting closeness. The 5 zones I will reveal today are scientifically proven to activate the emotional circuitry of a woman's brain. The parts linked to affection, pleasure, bonding, vulnerability, and memory. And here's what's even more important. Men over 50 are uniquely positioned to do this better than men in their 20s or 30s. Younger men rush. They chase the end goal. They lack intention. But you have patience, presence, and a calm confidence that amplifies the effect of every touch. Let's begin with the first area. The most misunderstood but neurologically powerful zone is the nape of her neck, the soft curve at the back, just under the hairline. Multiple neuroscience publications confirm this area contains 8 pairs of cervical nerve endings connected to the limbic system, the emotional brain. When gently stimulated, these nerves trigger a cascade of signals that release oxytocin, slow the heart rate, and create what we call limbic relaxation, the psychological sensation of emotional surrender and trust. But the reason this area is so powerful is not just the nerves, it's the psychology of vulnerability. The back of the neck is a primal survival zone. In nature, exposing your neck signals total trust. When a woman allows you to kiss this area, she is allowing herself to be emotionally unguarded with you. But here's where most men fail. They kiss too quickly, too directly, too aggressively. They rush and skip past the very response they're trying to create. The nape of the neck responds to one thing: Gradual stimulation. Start by moving her hair aside slowly. This alone activates anticipation. Then touch the area with only your fingertips, letting them barely graze the surface of her skin. Then place your lips against her skin, but don't kiss immediately. Just hold. Let your breath warm her skin. Let her feel your presence before your movement. Then kiss lightly. 3 seconds of consistency. Then move 1 centimeter to the side. Then pause again. You are creating a rhythm in her nervous system. My patient, 68-year-old Margaret's husband, learned this technique at my clinic after a 12-year drought of intimacy. He told me, "Doctor, I didn't know touch could speak. I didn't know her body could answer back." This, the nape of her neck, is where emotional intimacy begins. The second spot is behind her ear, the soft skin where her earlobe meets the face. Most men kiss the ear incorrectly. They nibble too aggressively or go straight to the earlobe. But the magic is behind the ear because this area is connected to the vagus nerve, the nerve controlling relaxation, heart rate, and emotional calm. When stimulated gently, the vagus nerve sends signals that lower stress hormones and heighten arousal chemistry. A study published in Clinical Neurophysiology showed that soft stimulation of the vagus nerve via the ear can trigger a wave of pleasurable warmth through the spine in seconds. But the technique matters. Start below the ear, at the jawline. Then kiss slowly upward while letting your breath warm the skin. When you reach the earlobe, take it gently between your lips. Hold for 1 second, then release. If she sighs, tilts her head, or leans into you, her vagus nerve has activated. This is where emotional closeness becomes physical closeness. The third area is the sacrum, the small of her back, just above the hips. This spot is almost never touched intentionally by men, yet it contains nerve pathways that extend directly into the pelvic region. Multiple studies from Massachusetts General Hospital confirm that light pressure on the sacrum can trigger deep relaxation, increase circulation, and heighten pelvic awareness. Gentlemen, let me be clear. When you place your hand here, you are not stimulating her sexually. You are grounding her emotionally. The sacrum responds best to slow pressure, not light touches. Place your hand flat against her lower back. Apply firm, warm pressure and slowly slide your hand downward or in circles. This technique communicates confidence, stability, and leadership, qualities women find deeply attractive, especially later in life. The fourth area is the inner wrist and the inner forearm. The reason this area is extremely powerful is because the skin is thin, packed with sensory receptors, and rarely stimulated, meaning the nervous system reacts strongly even to gentle touch. A study from the Journal of Somatosensory Research shows that soft strokes along the inner arm activate C-tactile fibers that send emotional signals directly to the brain's affection centers. This area is perfect for everyday intimacy, even in public. Take her hand, turn her wrist upward, and trace your fingers slowly from her wrist to the inside of her elbow. You are telling her nervous system, you are safe, you are seen, you are desired. The fifth area is the lower abdomen around the navel. The navel and lower abdominal region share nerve pathways with deeper areas of the body, making this region surprisingly sensitive to gentle stimulation. Research from the International Association of Neurotouch shows that slow, Circular touch around the navel activates the abdominal pelvic nerve network, creating deep relaxation and emotional openness. Technique matters immensely here. Move slowly, softly, in circles around the navel. This is a private zone. Use it only when intimacy is already developing naturally. Now that you understand each spot, let's expose the three biggest traps men fall into. The first trap is rushing. When you rush, you short-circuit her nervous system. Emotional bonding fibers respond only to slow, patient stimulation. The second trap is using pressure where softness is needed, or softness where pressure is needed. The nape responds to softness. The sacrum responds to pressure. Behind the ear responds to warmth. The inner wrist responds to lightness. The abdomen responds to slow circles. Get this wrong, and the chemistry collapses. The third trap is technique without intention. Women feel intention instantly. If your touch is mechanical, her body will not answer. So here is the reveal. The strategy that ties everything together is something I call neural sequencing intimacy, a slow progression through these zones in the correct order to activate trust, warmth, bonding, and desire in the perfect sequence. Start with the nape for emotional surrender. Move to behind the ear for nervous system warmth. Then the inner arm for affection. Then the sacrum for grounding. Then the abdomen for intimate connection. This 5-point sequence can turn routine affection into unforgettable intimacy. Before we continue, if you're still watching, pause for 2 seconds and leave a comment telling me your age. I tailor my upcoming videos based on age groups because the intimacy needs of men at 52 are different from those at 68 or 75. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. We are building the largest men's intimacy education channel in the world, rooted in science, respect, and real connection, not tricks. Now let's finish this with truth and clarity. Intimacy after 50 is not about performing like a young man. It's about connecting like a grown man, patiently, intentionally, confidently. These 5 spots are not techniques. They are doorways. Doorways into trust, emotional safety, and lasting closeness. When you master them, you are not giving her pleasure. You are giving her something far deeper. You are giving her the feeling of being cherished. Women never forget the man who makes them feel safe enough to melt, desired enough to open, and understood enough to surrender. Gentlemen, hear me clearly. You do not need youth. You do not need adrenaline. You do not need speed or stamina. You need presence. You need patience. You need intention. These 5 spots, practiced slowly, deliberately, and consistently, can rebuild passion in a 30-year marriage, deepen intimacy in a new relationship, or restore confidence after years of emotional distance. If this message opened your eyes, like the video, leave a comment telling me which spot surprised you most, and subscribe for more science-based intimacy guidance. Your age does not limit your ability to connect. Your experience enhances it. And your partner, whether you've been together for a year or a lifetime, deserves the version of you who knows how to love with clarity, depth, and intention. I'm Dr. Anthony Faucy. Stay strong, stay present, and never stop learning how to love with precision.